In the quiet suburbs of Baltimore, Maryland, during the late 1960s, there lived a woman named Catherine Ann Cesnik. To the students at Archbishop Keough High School, she was affectionately known as Sister Cathy. Born in 1942, Catherine was the eldest of 4 siblings, raised in a tight-knit, devout Catholic family. She felt a calling early on, a desire to devote her life to God and to teaching. After graduating from high school, she joined the School Sisters of Notre Dame, a religious order dedicated to education and service, with a dream to nurture and inspire young minds. By 1969, Sister Cathy had been teaching at Archbishop Keough High School for several years. Her impact on the students went beyond the classroom. To many young girls at Keough, Sister Cathy was more than a teacher. She was a confidant, a protector, and a beacon of hope. Her gentle and empathetic nature allowed her to connect deeply with the students, who saw her as a safe refuge amidst the strict and sometimes intimidating environment of the Catholic school. She listened without judgment, offering comfort to those struggling with personal fears or insecurities. But beyond her gentle demeanor, Sister Cathy also had a strong sense of right and wrong, and she wasn't afraid to stand up against what she believed to be unjust. This quality made her a beloved figure among her students, but it may also have put her in grave danger. Behind the doors of Archbishop Keough High School, a disturbing truth was hidden, a darkness that stretched beyond the school grounds. Former students would later reveal that Father Joseph Maskell, the school's chaplain and counselor, had been sexually abusing numerous young girls for years. Maskell was seen as a respected authority figure, but he wielded his position to prey on the vulnerable, subjecting them to physical, emotional, and sexual abuse. He used fear as a weapon, threatening the girls with severe consequences if they dared to speak out. The trauma they endured was compounded by the guilt and shame that often accompanies such abuse, leaving many feeling isolated and powerless. Sister Cathy, sensitive to her students' distress, reportedly began to suspect that something was terribly wrong. It's believed that some of the young girls confided in her about the abuse, trusting her to understand and protect them. She may have even confronted Father Maskell directly, attempting to hold him accountable. But as she began to uncover the horrific acts taking place within the walls of the school, she herself became a target. On the evening of November 7th, 1969, 26-year-old Sister Cathy left her apartment, which she shared with another nun, Sister Helen Phillips, for a brief trip to a local shopping center. She planned to buy an engagement gift for her sister. The outing seemed simple, just another errand on a typical night. But this night would be anything but typical. When she didn't return, her roommate grew concerned, and soon after, her car was found parked illegally near their apartment. Inside, the scene was unsettling. Her purse's contents were strewn across the front seat, and it appeared as though she had left in a rush or been forced to. Yet, there was no trace of Sister Cathy. For weeks, a desperate search ensued. Flyers with Sister Cathy's photo were distributed across Baltimore, and volunteers combed through nearby woods and neighborhoods, hoping to find any sign of the beloved nun. Her students, fellow nuns, and the broader community held prayer vigils, clinging to the hope that she might still be found alive. But with each passing day, hope dwindled, giving way to a deepening sense of dread. Then, on January 3rd, 1970, a gruesome discovery was made. 2 hunters stumbled upon a body in a secluded field in Lansdowne, just outside Baltimore. Half buried in the frozen ground, partially hidden by debris, lay the remains of Sister Cathy. Her skull had been brutally fractured, likely the result of blunt force trauma. It was a sight that would haunt those who found her, and the shockwaves rippled through the community. How could such a horrific fate befall someone who had dedicated her life to love and service? The police investigation struggled to find answers, and as time passed, the frustration and grief in the community deepened. Rumors began to swirl, whispers that Sister Cathy's murder might not be random, that it could be connected to something much darker. Her former students spoke of the secrets Sister Cathy had uncovered, secrets that had put her at odds with powerful men within the church. The suggestion that her murder was a targeted act of silence became more than a theory for many. It became a haunting reality, In the years following her death, several former students came forward with chilling testimonies of their abuse at the hands of Father Mescal. One of the most disturbing accounts came from Jean Vayner, who revealed that Mescal had taken her to the spot where Sister Cathy's body lay before it was officially found. According to Jean, Mescal's message was clear. He wanted her to understand the consequences of speaking out. He allegedly told her that if she ever revealed what he had done, she would end up just like Sister Cathy. It was a moment of unimaginable terror for Jean, one that she kept buried for years, silenced by fear and trauma. Jean's revelation, along with similar stories from other survivors, painted a grim picture. According to their accounts, Sister Cathy had been determined to expose the abuse at Keough, and her discovery of the truth made her a threat to those who sought to keep the church's reputation intact. Many believe that her murder was orchestrated to silence her, to send a warning to anyone else who might dare to challenge the church's authority. The allegations against Father Mescal and his alleged role in Sister Cathy's death were met with disbelief and denial by church authorities. Survivors who came forward with their stories faced a brutal reality. Rather than being supported, they were often dismissed, discredited, and even threatened. Rumors persisted that Mescal had close ties to the local police, allowing him to manipulate the investigation and suppress evidence that could have implicated him or others involved. Even more disturbing, it was suggested that Mescal may have had connections to illegal activities, including blackmail and the disposal of sensitive documents. Despite the harrowing stories and mounting evidence, Mescal was never charged in connection to Sister Cathy's murder or the abuse at Keough. He left the United States in the 1990s, living in Ireland for several years before returning. He died in 2001, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and shattered lives. The survivors were left to grapple with their trauma, knowing that the man they accused of such heinous acts had escaped justice. In 2017, the release of the Netflix documentary series The Keepers brought renewed attention to Sister Cathy's case and the disturbing allegations against Mescal. The series offered a platform for survivors like Jean Vayner to share their stories, bringing the hidden horrors at Archbishop Keough into the public eye. It exposed the systemic failures of the church and law enforcement, revealing the deep wounds left by years of cover-ups and intimidation. Though Mescal's body was exhumed in 2017 to compare his DNA with evidence from the crime scene, no definitive link was found, leaving the identity of Sister Cathy's killer shrouded in mystery. For many, it felt like yet another painful reminder of how justice had slipped through their fingers. The story of Catherine Cesnik is not just the story of a brutal murder. It is a story of courage, of betrayal, and of a system that abandoned those it was meant to protect. It is a story about a woman who sought to protect her students and paid the ultimate price for her bravery. It's about the survivors who, despite years of fear and intimidation, found the strength to speak out. And it's about the scars that remain, etched into the hearts of all those who knew and loved Sister Cathy. Share your thoughts in the comment and make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next episode of Secret Trails.